had an interesting experience yesterday where I was working on painting up my war boss, and I actually wound up. It took me only just like a few hours to do, and the whole time I was doing it, I was enjoying it. I was doing the kind of painting that I enjoy, and I thought that was really interesting and thought provoking. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do that again on this Mega Knob that I've been working on. And yeah, just see if I can kind of A, recreate that feeling I got yesterday, and then B, understand what it is I seem to like about the way that I did it. I started off with a kind of two-tone blended undercoat. It's looking very synthwave, isn't it? So kind of gone for a purple, kind of mostly on the bottom half and underneath, and then this kind of turquoise on top. So this is what I did yesterday, and it actually worked out really quite nicely. So I guess the next bit is going to be starting to work from kind of the inside out. So I'm going to start with like the face and the skin, and yeah, just start doing those, but like doing the fun bits of, layering up and highlighting that I enjoy. So here I started with the skin tones, and rather than going down to a dark green or even jumping straight into a mid-tone, what I did was I started mixing some of the turquoise in with the mid-tone green I was going to use, and kind of just slowly built that up. And normally I'd avoid using so many layers, but there was just something actually quite satisfying about taking a bit more time to do it, because I knew that I wasn't going to have to do like all the kind of like trying to get the base colours in on everything. And this is a kind of painting that I really enjoy, because I feel like straight off the bat I'm actually having more agency in the look of the miniature. Now the Gretchen on the front there actually gave her fewer levels of shading, so she kind of has like a bit more of a stark jump in contrast, but that kind of fits with an idea that I work with, that I want the most attention to be on the bits that are most important. So if you look at something and it's looking a little rough around the edges, there's a reason for that. Also, it's just incredibly satisfying using this brush and just seeing it do such a nice job of getting right into the details and just giving you just a very fine line. Okay, so here I'm just starting to block in the base colours, so starting off with purple for most of the armour and just working my way around and getting that in. Oh hey Thomas, do you want to come join me? Yeah, he's a good boy. Then I based in sort of a greyish white the top of the rocket launcher, and just came in and started freehanding some checker marks on. And I really like freehanding orc markings because it feels kind of very thematically appropriate. Like, they're always going to be a little bit messy, but that makes more sense to me for orcs than something super pristine. It's also just a really good way to add some visual interest to areas that might otherwise be a little bit flat. Next up I worked on the orange accents, which is kind of the main other colour. And again, because I was mixing it with the turquoise, this meant that my first couple of coats were actually kind of green before it started turning orange. But yeah, it actually gave it a really nice kind of gradation building up into that nice bright orange towards the end, which looks really good. Then I was working on my brown shades, which kind of covers everything that's not explicitly already covered, so kind of the pipes, the little slingshot on the Gretchen. And I quite like these because they don't really feel like it's an additional colour on top of the others, it's just sort of a relatively neutral earthy tone. Although what I would say is, in hindsight, I might not do the loincloth with quite so much highlighting last time. It seems to draw too much attention. Then lastly, it's time to get some colour down on the squig that he's about to jump on. Now originally this squig, or most squigs I do, would be purple, but in order to make it stand out and kind of complement the other colours, instead I've gone for a red that kind of built up into a bit of an orange. And here she is, all finished. Not my best piece of work, but actually one that I'm pretty darn proud with, especially given the relatively short amount of time that's gone into it. Really feels like it's got a more complete looking paint job than it should do for the amount of time I spent on it, and whilst not quite as happy as I was with the War Boss, there's a few kind of things that if I might change, it's more about the overall structure. But Yeah. Abigail about to have a midwar snack. With an unreasonable amount of dagger.